The royal family has survived multiple scandals. But this time, the Queen's own son is accused of sexually abusing a 17-year-old. And while the case has been settled for an undisclosed sum with no admission of liability, the story is far from over.
Maintaining the monarchy, that can only really happen if it's what the public want.
And while perhaps it seems the Queen will ride it out, as the royal family looks to protect their reputation, attention will undoubtedly turn to the man next in line to the throne. So how damaging will this continue to be for the royals and Prince Charles as a future king? It's a picture that haunts the entire royal family. In it, Prince Andrew has his arm around Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who was suing him for sexually abusing her in 2001 on 3 separate occasions.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day.
But now a settlement for an undisclosed sum and a substantial donation to Miss Giuffre's charity supporting victims of abuse means the Prince will avoid the intense pressure of a high-profile trial. He has always vehemently denied the allegations made against him.
And I've just wished to reiterate and to reaffirm the statements which have already been made on my behalf by Buckingham Palace.
I don't think anyone could have quite predicted then just how much things would escalate.
If it was 20 years ago, they would have another 20 years of the Queen's reign in which to, sort of try and move on and brush things over. But they don't have that. So it's, it's a kind of a perfect storm of really difficult times ahead.
I think he's disgraced the royal family, and he should pay the price for that.
Do you think he should step back from sort of public duties and from everything now?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Prince Andrew was stripped of all his military roles and told that he can no longer officially and publicly use his HRH title. But what we're waiting to find out is whether that is enough to sway public opinion in the family's favour. This is not like the other scandals. The allegations made against him are far worse than anything that's embroiled the family before. But the family's past approach to negative press may well give some insight into how things will play out. Millions watched as Diana poured her heart out on the BBC's Panorama programme in 1995. In it, she said she'd become a problem for the royal family since her split from Prince Charles.
They are telling me that Diana, Princess of Wales, has died. This is according to British sources.
Waking up on the 31st of August 1997 to the shocking news that Diana had died, the public waited for the palace to respond.
It took 2 hours to cut Diana from the wreckage of the vehicle. The Queen, Prince of Wales and the Princess's 2 sons have been told.
Instead, the tabloids filled the void.
I think Diana's life and death was instructive for the Queen and the royal family. And in fact, the Queen, in the broadcast that she made finally in the days that followed Diana's death, actually acknowledged that there were lessons to be learned.
We've all been trying in our different ways to cope.
While on the face of it, the royal family managed to weather this difficult period, Diana's legacy still looms large over the palace, particularly over Prince Charles. Her criticism of the royal family and how they treated her came back into the spotlight thanks to her son, Prince Harry. When they opened up to Oprah, Harry and Meghan again hit the reputation of the monarchy hard, especially in the eyes of younger people. Polling last year revealed that just 31% of 18 to 24-year-olds said they wanted the monarchy to continue.
The monarchy is on borrowed time. I think that the prospect of George ascending to the throne is shrinking. I don't think it's a definite no, but I think that is shrinking.
Public opinion over the years has been divided about how the royal family have dealt with the likes of Diana, Harry and Meghan, and probably less so Prince Andrew. But what has been clear with all of those examples is that no family member has ever been more important than defending the reputation of the institution. And there is one lesser known story about how far the Queen will go to protect him. In 1953, Peter Townsend asked the Queen's sister, Princess Margaret, to marry him. He was 16 years older than her and already divorced with 2 children from his previous marriage. Margaret was 22 at the time, and under the Royal Marriages Act of 1772 had to ask the Queen's consent to get married. According to documents in the National Archive, the Queen told her sister if she did marry Mr. Townsend, she'd have to renounce her rights of succession and those of her children.
It was about the personal and the professional, the family and the firm. And you know, the lesson that really, I think, runs through the Queen's reign is that when it comes down to it, it's the firm over family.
Princess Margaret released a statement to say she was putting her duty to the Commonwealth above all else and would therefore not be marrying him. And it's that word duty that's remained at the heart of Elizabeth's reign above all else.
I think that's really dates back, in a sense, from the seminal moment, which was the abdication of Edward VIII, the Queen's uncle. And essentially, it wasn't even the scandal of an American divorcee and all of that. It was about putting family and personal preference over the firm, the institution, the role and the responsibility that comes with that. And the Queen's father had to step up against his kind of preference and against really his character of being somebody who was quite shy and retiring to be king.
There is no getting away from it. The royal family can appear ruthless when their reputation is at stake, but the Queen is no longer the only senior royal who wants to protect it, with the biggest vested interest coming from her son and our future king, Prince Charles. So can he survive this latest scandal?
No, it's felt a bit peckish.
Oh, did you really?
Set against the rest of the royals, Prince Charles ranks 7th in popularity with the public. But the picture gets worse. When it's just millennials voting, he drops to 11th.
Your Royal Highness, can I ask your view on your brother's position, Prince Andrew? How do you view it?
Talking about abolishing the monarchy, that is a very big step to take, and it's something that actually has to happen because of a huge strength of feeling and because Parliament will then change the system of how our country is structured.
Very clearly, Charles and William are working hard to promote themselves in a particular way to try and circumvent all of these scandals, to also get themselves ready for when they aren't supported by the Queen's presence. Charles is going to inherit the throne. He's not going to inherit that respect and deference that the Queen has. He's not going to inherit that lack of willingness on the part of everybody else to criticise him and to challenge him.
You have defended our laws and certainly given us cause to shout with heart and voice, God save the Queen.
As the palace prepare for the Platinum Jubilee, they're going to try and do as much as they can to distance themselves from that media storm around Prince Andrew. But inevitably, a story of this magnitude will continue to be a distraction. And while for the Queen this is an enormous milestone, it is also a reminder that we do have an ageing monarch. The royal family know that Prince Charles is a figure who continues to divide public opinion, and his popularity as a future monarch is not guaranteed. There will be sighs of relief within the palace that an explosive trial involving his brother seems to have been avoided. Within the palace, they hope this will be enough to bury the scandal and secure the future of an institution his mother has worked so hard to uphold and protect.